If you want to know how to make $1,200 anytime you want or need to, you have to watch this video. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this like a faucet that you turn off and on whenever you need. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Arlan. I went from being homeless just 10 years ago to investing in more than 200 companies and building a $30 million venture capital firm. And today I teach people how to do what they want, live the life they want, and make money because I think that we all deserve that and we all deserve to be happy. But I want to do it in a very sustainable way. I don't want it to be a get rich quick scheme because those never pan out for the long run. And you need to be able to do this anytime you want or anytime you need to. I've been there. I know what it's like, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, this is what I do. So I'm going to get right to it because you need this information now. What I do whenever I'm stuck, and I still do this, I generate revenue. I've generated millions of dollars in revenue over the past few years for myself, for other people. And I still, on a day-to-day basis, I'm in the lab. I'm testing things. I'm executing on things. I'm right there with you. So these are things that have been proven, not just theory. Okay. So what I do when I get stuck or I need to figure something out, whether it's $1,200, 12,000, or $120,000, I think of my three-part framework. This is the teach, show, or do framework. Let me tell you what that means. Okay, so it's going to be fun. What I want you to do is I want you to listen to all three of these and decide which one of them you want to do for this very specific 1200 that we're going after. You don't need to do all three. Okay, so the first is teach, and that pretty much explains itself. You're going to pick your target audience and your target niche and your topic, basically, and you're going to teach something about it. So have that in your mind. You can pause this right now and think through what is a hobby of yours, an interest of yours, a skill of yours, some experience you may have had. And again, if you don't have a lot of experience, you have a hobby, you have interest, so you can start there, right? As a beginner. So you're going to teach something. So this could look like a 30-minute online course, a mini course. It could look like that 30 minutes in one video or across 3 videos put together as modules. It could be on Gumroad. It could be on Teachable. It could be on School. Now, School is what I use, and I highly recommend it. You have the link in my description. It tells you how to get a 14-day trial to it. But the reason I like it is because you can have a free membership. You pay for the membership, but it's free to others. And then you can upsell your courses inside the classroom. So it's really cool. I'll make a full video about that. I have several of them here on my channel. But what you could do is even if you use something like Card, CARRD, that is just free for you to post a beautiful landing page and just link off to Stripe or PayPal or some other form, you could do that as well. But Gumroad is really great to start if you have no experience. Okay, check it out. You teach something, you teach that topic. The next thing, and I'm going to come back and give you more information about it, so don't worry if you're not quite getting it yet. But the next thing is show. So like show and tell, right? We all had show and tell in school. Most of us did, right? So what you're going to do is you have taught this lesson. Again, you're going to choose one of these to do. But let's say that same lesson, that same topic, that same skill, you're going to actually walk someone through. So this may be a group of people, and it may be on Google Meets, it may be on Zoom, it may be in person at a local a spot that you choose. You're going to walk them through 45 minutes, an hour and a half, and they're either going to pay you, let's say $10 or $20 each to be there. And you can do all of this through Calendly, through Zoom. You can set up payments for this. And they're gonna set it up like a workshop, right? Like you go and you get a lesson or you get a workshop. That's one way to do it. And you can do the math on that, sell it for $20 a ticket, do 60 tickets, and you're off to the races. But another way to do it, if you don't have a lot of time, and you also don't think that you have an audience that would buy from you, is that you can have a free webinar, a free lesson that's live, that you teach live, virtually or in person. And then in the last quarter of it, let's say it's an hour-long session, the last 15 minutes, let's say it's a 30-minute session, the last 7.5 minutes, the last quarter of it, you're going to make an offer. You're going to say, look, I've taught you this. I spent 45 minutes. I taught you all of this. You can take those skills right now and implement them. Or if you would like my help, if you'd like me to work one-on-one with you, if you'd like for me to XYZ, then I will, you can get that for $300. You can get that for $600. You can get that for $1,200. You can get that for $100. It depends on what it's about, what the skill is, how valuable it is, and then it depends on how many people are in the room. So let's say, and now sometimes, actually, I would tell you this. So sometimes what people do, and I don't necessarily teach this, but I just want to tell you about it. Sometimes people will buy ads. And the interesting thing about ads is that you don't need a lot of money to test out an ad. I just don't do them. The only types of ads that I do are on Instagram, and they're just to tell people about me, bring them to my profile and let people learn more about me. But I don't do ads directly to a product or a sale, right? But some people can. It's worked for millions of people, right? So what you could do is, let's say you have $100 to spend. You could put $100 into Facebook ads or Instagram ads or elsewhere, and you could promote this free webinar, this free thing you're doing that's coming up in a week or two. And you could see how that does. Does that bring 50 people to your landing page, and maybe people sign up, 25 people sign up? Does that happen? And then think about, you might get like a 20 to 30% show up rate of the people who show up. So let's say you spend $100, you have 10 people who show up to the event, and then 2 of them buy your $300 offer. If you could do that, that's $600 for spending $100. So if you could make that math work with a test, then you could replicate that. So it is not my first go-to, like paid ads, but it is definitely something you can test out. It's not just for big businesses. It's something you can test yourself and see how many people come to the page, and see how many people convert to signing up for the thing, and then see how many people actually show up and take your offer. So this is a show. This is you're showing people how to do it. Another show is in their offer itself. So you can get on a one-on-one call, a consulting call, and you walk people through a method, a framework, a lesson, an idea, have a conversation with them. Most of my one-on-ones cost thousands of dollars each, and they're usually just a conversation, because obviously I have a lot of experience, so I'm not going to pretend that everyone has the same life experience as I do. But I know that when I was starting out, when I was broke, I would do 30-minute calls and charge $30, and I would teach people how to work on their blog. And those $30 calls back in the day would help me eat, would help me make ends meet, you know? And so it's not something that you have to be this huge expert on. I just happen to know how to make a blog. And I had people looking at my blog, so I said, this is how you make it. I'm going to talk to you one-on-one about it, right? So I could do I could do a course about that, and or I could do a show. And then the last one, the third option is do. Do is really fun. Do is how it sounds. It's a do it for you service. So you take everything we just talked about, so the same theme, the same topic that you've decided, okay, I might teach that, I might show that. What if I just do it for the person? So in my case, let's go back to my original blogging. This was, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was making ends meet, barely, but I would do these calls. So instead of just doing the calls or just doing the lesson online, what if I said, hey, for the next 10 people who pay me $500 each, or $300 or $250, I will create your blog for you. I will set up your page. I will give you templates. I will show you a cadence. I will give you the first 10 topics that you should talk about based on what you do. Because today, what wasn't available 10 years ago that you have available today and we have is ChatGPT, is AI, all these tools that we can use, many of them having a free version that we can start out with. And not everybody's going to need a free version because some people, 20% or so of the people who watch my channel, have some resources and you want to invest a little bit at the beginning of what you're doing. So if you can put 300 in and get 1200 out, I'm doing that every day, right? I'm doing that all day long, right? If that's the case. So this do it for you doesn't have to be something you do for the rest of your life or for a year. It could simply be a sprint. Any of this could be a sprint. You need to have that muscle where I want $1,200. I want to go on a trip, or I want to pay this specific bill, or I want to go to this conference. I want $1,200. I'm going to turn the faucet on and I'm going to go out and select teach, show, or do. So if let me tell you a little bit more about kind of that plug-in. But before I do, in case you aren't familiar, we are doing an amazing experiment where I am asking you to subscribe to this channel and I'm testing and doing an analysis of what happens to that particular video. And I have to tell you, if you're at all interested in being on YouTube and using YouTube to monetize, this has been an incredible experiment. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe right now and you won't miss any of these videos. If you're still here with me, there is some value that you're getting. You want to get more of these videos. I release at least once a week, but usually more than that. And you can subscribe right now to be part of the experiment that helps me grow and grow and grow. I gained 100,000 subscribers in just 1 year. And this experiment so far has been absolutely amazing. Now, if you want several other ways to make the $1,200 in 2 days, several other plans, strategies, and systems that we have in place. Now, I have recently released this book, and I know you might even have this on the way to you. If it hasn't come to you yet, it'll be there within a couple of days, a few days. It usually takes about 5 days, 5 to 7 days to get to you, but you should wait up until 14 days to come to you. Go to Arlan's Revenue Playbook to pick this up. Oh yeah, it's free. You get it for free. My bad, I forgot to tell you. You get it for free. You just pay $5 shipping. I have paid for these copies for you. You can get as many as you'd like, but you get your free copy one at a time, and then it'll be on its way to you. I know people have asked, does it go to does it go internationally? Yes, as of right now, it does go internationally. I may change that in the future depending on how expensive it gets, but right now, doesn't matter where you are, order this and it'll come to you soon. If it's international, give it up to like 3 weeks or so. Okay, this is amazing. Now, what are you going to do? Let me know in the comments. Are you going to teach? Are you going to show? Are you going to do? Now, choose one of these. Now, what's fun is once you get out of this pain that you might be in, where you're like, I need money fast, I need it overnight. Once you get out of that and you've made money because you've chosen one of these and it worked for you, then you can start to combine a couple of them. So you might have a course and then a do-it-for-you service that is built off of that course where people are linked to you once they take the course. Or you may do show and then say, hey, I have this course that you can check out even more information, ... Now, I know right now you may be saying to yourself, this sounds awesome. I think I know what I want to sell, but how do I get people to actually see this? Okay, I don't have an audience. I'm a beginner, or I'm not a beginner, but I just don't know how to get a lot of people here. I want you to first of all reset. And remember, I have generated millions of dollars when I say this to you, okay? And I started poor, broke, homeless, on food stamps. So I'm telling you what has actually worked for me and for multiple other people that I teach. And so I want you the first thing I want you to do and not skip this part is I want you to have a mindset shift if you can. And I know it's easier said than done, but I want you to stop thinking, oh, I don't have an audience. Oh, I'm a beginner. Oh, I don't know this XYZ. This isn't for me. If you think that way, that will keep you stuck where you are. Has thinking that way helped you at all? Are you still where are you where you want to be, or are you where you were? If you're stuck, start listening to me and doing the things and see if it works for you instead of making excuses. And I'm not saying that you don't have problems, because I know I'm in those comments. I know what's going on in people's lives. I'm not saying that we're not going through all of the stuff. I certainly am. What I'm saying is there's no one coming to save us. So I'm trying to equip you with the skills and the guts, the confidence to go do it. And you got to build it. That's the only way I've been able to do all the stuff I've been able to do. I mean, I own Janet Jackson's prize truck because I got it at an auction. I paid 6 figures for it. I've been on the cover of Fast Company. I have 3 books out now, 2 books on major publishers. Like, I'm telling you things that are coming from experience, because I used to sleep on the floor of an airport, right? And I had to get out of my head. I had to say, I can, I will, I am, rather than oh, this happened to me and this is where I am right now. And then, yes, it's true. Let's go and change it, right? Are you with me? If you want to change it, let me know in the comments. Let's go, right? Say, let's go in the comments if you're feeling this. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to think about what we talked about a little bit earlier. There is that paid option that you can invest 100, 200, $300 into ads just to kind of test them out. You're not going to be perfect at it at first. You may lose some money, but you're going to, only way you figure it out and learn it is to test it and to do. This is what I do all the time. I test. I'm still learning every day, like I'm in the lab, right? So you could do that and try to get some people to come see what you're doing. Look up on YouTube, like search good ads. How do I do an ad? How do I even do this on Facebook? It'll teach you how to do it. It'll give you examples of good ad copy, and then you can use ChatGPT to help you along the way, right? You can use Canva. You can use all these different things that we just didn't have years ago. So you can pay for it. You can also collaborate with someone. So you might know someone, and I don't mean like someone who has a million followers, like trying to get in their DMs. I'm talking about, you may just know somebody who's a step or two ahead of you, who has like 1,000 followers or 5,000 or 10,000 or more followers, who you can actually connect with. And maybe you know 3 of them or 10 of them or 20 of them, and maybe you know them or you know of them, and just reach out to them. Like, if you can create something that is of value and you reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm going to sell this. Do you want to get commissions? Do you want me to pay you? Like, if you show it to your audience, maybe we'll do an interview together or something. We show it to your audience, and then you get a percentage, like you get 30%, 40% of that. Give them something that is valuable to them, that is worth their time and their audience, depending on what they've built, because they took the time to build that audience just like you can. So if you're going to borrow their audience from them, make it worth their while. And you're going to find some people who are going to say yes, because they're going to be constantly looking for, what value can I add to my audience? I'm not going to be able to just talk about myself all year round. Maybe I can use what they have going. So that's what I would think about too. Another thing is, sometimes we just don't realize how many people we actually know. You know a lot of people, most likely. You probably have some people in your phone right now. You open up your contact list, who you could just shoot a text to and say, hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing some consulting about blogging. This is my example from before, right? But yours could be about YouTube or about Canva or about LinkedIn or about getting a job in retail. It could be about bartending. It could be about pets and, getting your pets to do what you want them to do. It could be about what your topic is. And you could say, hey, I'm doing that. I'm charging $50 for a one-on-one. Do you need that? Now, you could do that. Most people won't. Just most people won't, because they'll be like, oh, I'm too good for that. They won't say that, but that's what they'll think. They'll talk about something that's about pride. They're prideful. And I learned from Therese Tucker, who is a $1 billion founder, who started a company in her 40s, or I think she started in her 40s and in her 50s became a millionaire. She said, pride is not an asset. Pride does not help you. So if you got something to do, I mean, keep your integrity, right? Keep your integrity, but it's not going to hurt you to go out and ask people, like, can I be of service to you in exchange for capital? Because that's what this is, right? It won't hurt. It's much better than having to ask somebody for a loan. It's much better than having to say, oh, now I'm homeless because I didn't text 10 people that could have helped. You know what I mean? Like, go out there and just face it. And let me tell you, I've been there. I'm still right there. And I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but that's something you can do. Because if you have an offer that could be helpful, you never know who might want that offer. Another way is your social. Like, even if you have, let's say you have 400 people on your Instagram, right? I know a lot of people who claim that they don't have a large audience and have like 6,000, 10,000 people on their TikTok, right? That's not nothing. Facebook, X, Threads, whatever, right? If you have that many people, whatever the numbers, that's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your profile right now. Go to any of your profiles, your LinkedIn, and go look at the number of people who follow you. And just start adding up from different places, like on this one, because most people don't just have one. If you have more than one, just add it up. Pause this video, go add it up, and then come back. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that number of people in one arena or one stadium or one conference room, right? If it's 50 people, if it's 500, if it's 5,000 or more, I want you to imagine that many people standing and sitting in front of you, and you're standing up on a stage. That's a lot of people. And many of them are in pain and some type of pain. It doesn't have to be a physical pain, but they're in some type of discomfort. And your offer may be the solution for them that helps them get out of that pain. And if you can figure that out, then you can have a thriving exchange of capital, right? I think about, I teach people how to make money. So that's definitely a pain point right on time. But then I think about things like teaching people how to dance or teaching people how to crochet or teaching people how to get the best deals on travel. You're going to find that thing that is authentic to you, that is actually something that you want to work on. And then you're going to think through, with maybe the help of ChatGPT even, you're going to think through what is the what is the pain point here? Like, what is somebody actually having discomfort about when it comes to this topic? Like for pet owners, right? Pet owners, yes, you can try to sell them a leash, you can try to sell them food, you can do all that. That's going to take you a while. You can still do it, but it'll take you months or even years to set up. But what about pet owners who are like, my pet will not stop barking at strangers and jumping at other dogs, and it's just causing a whole problem at my apartments and da 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 da, and you have taught yourself, or you can learn how to give them 10 tips that help them change and transform that dog, even by 20%, even if it's not perfect dog overnight, but it's like it helps them through pain. It takes away the headache just a little bit. Then that is something that a pet lover could think through. It's like, oh, I could do like bows in the hair, in the on the top of the head of the dog, or I could teach someone or show someone or even go do this for them in person, have their dog stop begging so much, or have their dog be better behaved, or have their dog feel less sad when I leave, or all the different things that you could do as that in that particular lane. So I hope this has helped you think through that right now. And then I know that you're asking yourself, probably, if you have any more kind of questions, it's probably, what do I offer? I don't know what to offer people. It takes people like months to figure that out. And what most people do is that they just keep going in a circle over and over and over again, and they never do it. I'm going to give you some tough love right now. Okay. If you're ready, let me know in the comments if you're ready for tough love. Write that down. Stop being so precious. Stop being so like caught up in yourself. Like, oh, it has to be perfect, or this has to be the perfect launch, or it can't look bad, or I can't say I'm going to do something and then it didn't. Nobody came to it. Stop it. Stop it. If I did that, oh my God, my life would be different. It's just so true. am so comfortable failing in public that it should be bottled. But the more I'm comfortable with like the unease of perfection, the more money I make. Now, I'm allergic to mediocrity. I'm always at a level of boom. And if you heard me say it again, I'm allergic to mediocrity, right? I am never going to be like, oh, half done, it's all good, whatever, put my name on it, slap my name on it. But so I'm not saying you don't have to be good. I'm saying you don't have to be perfect because it doesn't exist. Perfection is a lie. Perfection is a lie. Okay? So if you're looking and waiting and searching for perfection before you even try one thing to experiment, you're never going to get to experiment. You may have to do all three of these things to figure out the one, like the teach, show, or do, to figure out the one that actually worked. But most people are going to, if they even attempt it at all, most people won't. But if they do, they'll do one of these and they'll say, oh, I spent 3 hours making a video lesson and setting up my class and nobody bought. And then they're done. It makes me laugh because it's like, do you know how many iterations, how many things I've tried, how many things I've put out into the world that just haven't worked? But your favorites, it's the same. When your favorite musician is putting music together, the reason it takes them so many years to put music out is because they're recording hundreds of songs for the 16 you're going to get. They wouldn't be able to get to the 16 and have the catalog if they didn't just put things on canvas, put things on, put it on wax, right? You got to put stuff out there. Okay, I tried this. I tried my best, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how the market responds to it. Going to give it a few days and see, maybe tweak something here. Maybe this copy wasn't right. Maybe this messaging wasn't right. I'll go back to ChatGPT because for the first time in our whole freaking lives, we have something like that that'll help us without us having to pay a consultant. And I'm gonna iterate, I'm gonna A/B test, and I'm gonna try this. Okay, that didn't work that well, but the one thing I did learn, whatever that is, I learned that XYZ because this person told me this. Maybe I'm gonna try the other thing. I'm gonna try to show. I'll try the show, knowing and using what I learned over there in the teach. You have to iterate, you have to experiment, you have to try.